Hello. When is the best time to harvest Egyptian walking onion bulbils? And Egyptian onion is in the same family as onion, and it is edible. So the little onion, they grow on top of their main stem are called bulbils, and they grow onion in the ground as well. So when is the best time to harvest the baby onions? There are two factors that I like to take into consideration. The first one is I will pay attention to the plant. If I see new growth from the ground, I know that's the best time to start planting them. That's when I start harvesting the bubbles. So you can see the onion in the ground. One bubble should just grow one onion, but if you leave it in the ground, it'll keep growing. If you have a bunch like that together, that means this cluster touch the ground and they all grow. It does not multiply in the ground in my analogy. So you can see them there outside of where I'm trying to grow them. So that's one way I go by. When the bulb in the ground start growing back in fall, I know that's the right time to start harvesting the baby onion and start planting them. Another factor I like to take into consideration is when the main stem is turning brown, I know that they stop feeding on the mother onion. Therefore, they are mature enough for me to harvest them. And I think that's the right way to know when is the best time to start harvesting the bubbles. And this is an example one. So to me, that means this onion is mature enough that does not need to feed on the mother onion. The main conductor of the nutrient is feeding. So that will be the right time to start harvesting them. And if you are not ready to plant, but you wanted to start harvesting them, you can harvest and have them in a cardboard box and have it in a shaded area, ventilated but shaded area for them to keep drying. But it's good to just leave them alone until you are ready to plant, and then you just harvest them and start planting. And you don't need to wait for every single plant to turn brown or yellow before you harvest the bubbles. But when most of them start doing that, you know that the mother onions stop sending more nutrient in to the bubbles. That's just my way of interpreting it. And then we'll soon getting ready to start sprouting new greens again in fall, getting ready for winter. So usually when you wait until the mother onion start growing new greens from the ground, I would say it's a little bit late at that point, but usually that's the time that I start harvesting and start planting. But you can, if you want to be ahead of time, you can start harvesting them once you start noticing that the main stem is turning yellow. You can just start snapping the onion. If you know where you are going to plant them, you will just pull them apart and just make a little hole and put the baby onion in it. So the tip will be above the ground and they will grow from the bottom where they join together to the stem. That's where the roots will be. So, and today is August 13, 2022, and you can see that those onions, they are pretty much laying down. They are not strong enough. The main stems are not strong enough to stand up. The ones that are fading, they are pretty much laying down, and naturally the bulbs touching the ground, they will start sprouting when they are ready. So I will say that's just a nature way getting ready to start sprouting those baby onions. So the main stem is fading, laying down, giving that distance from the mother plant to wherever the baby onions will touch the ground and they will sprout. So if you don't want them in your grass, that's what they are called walking onion, Egyptian walking onion, because they pretty much will keep propagating themselves. And you have seen them outside of the area I'm growing them. They are pretty much, some of them are pretty much growing outside of the area that I planted them originally, because as you see, they are touching the ground. And if I do not harvest them, they will start sprouting when it's ready for them to start doing that. We can see more here as well that turn yellow. And I will say that I start seeing new growth already. So August 13, 2022, and I just have a new onion here growing here. So, and it's not just the only one, there is another one here as well. So yeah, that's pretty much the right time to start planting them, and there is no need for me to wait until October to start planting our fall crop. I don't know if I should call it fall crop, but you know, like garlic usually is planted in fall. So, and that's just the onion that I'm trying to toss there. But you can see that I have some onion there as well that turn yellow. So I will say that by mid-August in our zone 5-8, those plants, those greens that I have, or vegetables that I have in the garden, that will produce in spring and then produce in fall, they tend to, if they are going to have seeds that I need to harvest, like in this example, the Egyptian walking onion, also called winter onion, mid-August will be the right time to start getting ready to harvest them and to start planting. So it's not really about the month, it's more about you paying attention to your garden to just see the right time, you know, the natural way things are working in your garden. So you look around, you'll just see when those plants in your garden are ready for you to harvest the baby onions to propagate, if you are growing Egyptian onion, for instance. So your time might be different from mine. It could be due to the zone, the agricultural zone. It could just be the microclimate as well. So just pay attention to, if you are growing perennial vegetables, pay attention to what is going on in your garden, and you will have, over time you will know what works for you. And in case you have not noticed, the Egyptian onion is best left in the ground. So if you harvest them to keep in storage, they won't last in storage much. So if you have intention to propagate them, I don't really see the point of bothering harvesting them, drying them, and then planting them in fall. You can just start harvesting when you are ready to harvest, right at the end of summer, when you notice that the stem supporting the bulbils are turning brown. You can start harvesting, and if you notice a spot you want to plant them, and you can start planting. Or at the latest, when you start seeing new shoot from the ground, you might want to start planting them at that point. And they will grow greens early in spring, and they will grow greens in fall. So you want to plant it early enough so that when they start growing in fall, you can have some greens. But chances are you won't be able to harvest greens from the baby onion when they start growing in fall. You'll be able to harvest greens from the mother plant, but the greens from the baby plant will be a little bit on the tiny side. And we just saw one earlier. There will be more on a little bit on the tiny side, like chive, for instance. So you might just let them grow to, because they need their energy. So you can just focus on the mother plant to have some harvest to store for winter use, and then in spring they will grow greens again. So if you are trying to start your garden in order to save money in groceries, perennial onions like Egyptian walking onion and chive, they are great onions to introduce in your garden if they are hardy to your zone. And those two are the two onions that I have noticed here, and more the one that I have tried that really work like perennials. You plant them and they just stay in your garden year after year. I have tried French shallot and grey shallot, as well as potato onion, but they, over time they disappear from the garden. But Egyptian onion just keep growing year after year, and we still have chive. Chive does not produce large leaves compared to Egyptian onion, but they are very resilient as well. The only things, the drawback with chives is, I think bunny or deer try to like them. So if you do not fence your garden, they might bother them, but they do not bother Egyptian onion. So if you are wondering, if you are planting Egyptian onion and you are wondering when will be the best time to harvest those baby onion to replant them, yeah, when they start turning, the main stem start turning yellow, might be the right time to start harvesting, and just start planting it right away. Or if you wait until the mother plant starts growing new shoots, you might want to start harvesting from that point and replant. So do you need to cut the main stem off of the mother onion when you harvest the bulbils? I don't think you need to. In the past, I have cut them down, but there is another area of the garden that I do not cut those stem off of the mother onion at the few, I will say, usually when I cut it, I'll cut a few inches above the ground level. It will make your garden look neat, but it is not necessary, because there are areas that I don't cut them down, and by spring you don't even see them, or by summer you won't even see them, they will break down. So I will try this year. Now I won't bother cutting them down. I will just harvest the baby onion off of them and replant, and just leave the main stem on the mother onion alone. So you can cut them down, or you just leave them depending on the time you have. So if you are trying to grow your garden to save money, perennial vegetables are great vegetables to introduce in your garden if they are hard into your zone, because they are resilient and they are low maintenance. So, and Egyptian onion is just one of them. Thank you so much for your time. We thank you very much for watching our videos. We thank you very much for all your comments, and we thank you very much you all that subscribe to our channel. I'm Afiabi Liberman, creator of Liberman Consulting L.L.C YouTube channel and ninasoap.com, our blog. On our channel and on our blog, we share different ways you can save money and different ways you can make money to reach your financial independence, where you do not depend on an employer to provide for your family. And growing some of your own food is one way to save money. And I like to update video recorded in 2022 with an update as today, July 28, 2024. And I'm going to take you to the garden. We have those onions. They are ready for you to harvest. If you have them and you see them, you see the stalk. I'm calling them stem, but they are stalk. If you are seeing them yellow like the way they are, you can harvest the bulb to plant. And as you can see, as a proof that they are ready, you can see that they are growing back already. The bulb, the mother bulb is in the ground, and the stalk is kind of yellow, breaking down, and the mother bulb start growing back. So that means I need to start planting the bulbils already, because the mother bulb start growing back. And you can see most of the stalk are kind of yellowish. I have another one here that is this tall already, and if we look down, we can see where it's growing from. It's raining, but I like to come out as I'm editing this video. I like to come out and make some updates where you can see is somewhere there is growing from this one, there. But and if we continue further, we can see them growing back from here as well. So though the mother bulb start growing already, and we have the stalk turning yellow, therefore we know that the mother bulb stop feeding the baby onions and is getting ready to grow back for fall crop, if I will say so. Therefore we should remove those and plant them. And it is July 28, 2024. And as you can see there, we have a lot of yellows stalks. And you can see them yellow. So that means we need to harvest those and plant them. And if you are wondering when will be the best time to harvest the mother bulb, I will say, around June, because by mid-June, I had a feeling like they were good enough to be harvested, but it won't be quite the time to harvest the mother bulb if you are trying to preserve the baby bulb, because they're still feeding. Some of them were still feeding the baby bulb. But again, because I don't harvest the mother bulb for consumption much, I want to propagate the plant, I don't focus on that. I might eat some, but it was until now that I start eating the mother bulb. Like July 27, yesterday, 2024, that I harvested the first one. It was still hard, but it's good to harvest the mother bulb for eating before it start growing back. You can see those growing there as well, but they are still on the, but it's still, you know, the bottom bulb is still hard for you to harvest some to eat. But I just don't know how they'll do in storage, because they are kind of getting ready to start growing back. I don't know if they'll last in this storage. In general, they don't last it anyway, but I like to just let them be so that they feed the baby onion enough for me to harvest them and replant. And as we continue our journey, we still have some here growing here as well. So I can say that we are a little bit late at replanting the baby bulb. But yeah, in July in our zone 5A, I think it's pretty much the right time to start paying attention to them, to see if the stalk is getting yellow, and start harvesting those two plants. But since June, I have to say that I'll start eating the baby bulb though. I think sometime in June. I did some recording on that. But yeah, you can see we have plenty new growth in the garden. And plenty of the bulb, the plants that is yellow, that we have good sign, at least the two signs that I use, that we need to harvest those babies, they build bubbles and plant them. You can see them here too, not just yellow, but they start having those spots like mold or brown, like breaking down type. You can see them. Thank you so much for watching.